So this year I will be 52 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Clock it, clock it. Mm-hmm. I know. But we gonna move on past that. And I grew up in a time when you were seen but were not heard. I was born in the 70s, and a lot of times when um, you had an opinion or you saw something or something was happening, uh, unless you had parents that were very, very conscious, that wasn't like enthralled in the hustle and grind culture and just do what I say do so I can be accountable for you as best I know how, you probably were, you know, seen to be kept track of, but you probably sound like Charlie Brown's mom to everybody talking. Wah, 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 wah. So one of the things that I had to work on my healing journey as I was working on myself was speaking and saying exactly what I meant. And then I asked clarifying questions because I want not only to make sure that I'm clear on a person's intent, but it helped me to hold them accountable the way that they were holding me accountable. Now, when I first started this, I used to worry about people being mad, disappointed, people not talking to me, people withholding things from me, not wanting me to have things because, quote unquote, I had a smart mouth. I spent half my childhood, if not the 75% of my childhood, literally getting popped in the mouth because I would just randomly say things because I wanted to know. I had questions and I needed somebody to answer them. And just because the people around me may not have thought the way that I didn't mean that what I needed to say or ask about was not valid. So I would shoot my shot, okay? And just be prepared for the pop. But I was going to ask them questions. Now, as an adult, I understand that retaliation looks a little bit different. You know, you'll get excluded from a group, you get whispered about, you know, people won't come around you as often because they feel like maybe you're a party pooper because you spoke on the elephant in the room. It's an elephant. What you want? You want everybody to just act like the elephant don't exist? Right. No, that's not how I do it. I even had adults tell me, you should always speak your mind. They just didn't want me to do it to them. Okay. They wanted me to speak my mind to other people. They wanted me to speak with passion around other people. When I worked in HR, man, so I worked around a bunch of older women who were definitely all different cultures, all different backgrounds, but they were um very HR washed. I'm not gonna say whitewashed, I'm gonna say HR washed. Where they talk to you in a nice, nasty way. And you know, HR has its own dialogue. Office environments have their own dialogue, but HR got their own dialogue. So they didn't know how to say things to you without saying things to you. And so I probably was in my 20s or 30s, and so I did not understand not speaking blunt because I'm a Sagittarius. Blunt is my first language. That's the one I'm fluent in. I mean, if I wasn't talking, if I was getting popped in the mouth and I wasn't saying it out my mouth, I definitely was saying it in my head. And my whole body and my whole being, my energy was saying it too. My mom used to say, I can see the defiance in your eyes. But I would still do what I was told anyway, even though I didn't like it. But I said all that to say, you always speak your truth. I don't care who you are and how old you are. There's a way to say something without it being disrespectful, but speaking your truth is something that you absolutely have to do. Because at the end of the day, your truth is all you have. And your truth may be different from other people's truth. You can have two or three people seeing the exact same thing happen and have a different perception on how it happened based on where their minds were, what kind of day they were having, how much sleep they got. There's different variations, but what it all boils down to is your truth is yours, and how you remember it is how you remember it until you gain a different perspective on what was taking place or how it happened. And so you have to honor that. We're not always taught that in childhood. to honor our perception of how things are, because it's important. It helps you to stand more in your power. It helps you to better understand more about yourself and how you see things. It also connects you to people who may see things the same way. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing, because we tend to trauma bond people at times. Like, we'll do a good old trauma bonding, like, oh, they know how it is for me. Yep, they probably do. But do you want to just hold on to that? Do you want to live in that? I mean, technically you can live in it until you don't want to live in it with, anymore. But the truth is important. I've experienced so many people that are like addicts, and not just to drugs, because everybody, I have actually posted a video on my page about addiction is actually searching for a bond, you're bonding to something. And it's easy to bond to a drug because it's not going to talk back to you. You might have thoughts in your mind, but that drug is not going to talk back to you. And actually, by the time all the dopamine is released and the oxytocin is released and all these different chemical reactions happen in your body, you think that this thing is like the greatest thing that ever happened, when all you really needed was a hug or somebody to say, I hear you and I identify. But food can be a drug, money can be a drug, anything can be a drug. So at this point, if your truth is the only thing that you have, then you should hold on to that. Some people say honor is all that you have. But if you can't even honor your truth, what kind of honor can you possibly have?